everybody, Gary Webb here. Me and Speck are fixing as soon as she finishes her berries here, we are headed out for another day up on the ranch here. Okay, well, we've made it here to our kick-out spot, and gonna head out the way. Marked out over here by this old set of corrals here. And real quick, the deal is people that had this ranch took their cattle off 35 years ago, maybe now, because of drought reasons, and they were never really allowed to bring them back until now. So today's mission is going to kind of scout out a way to move some cows onto the next water. When cattle don't know the country, you pretty much got to take them to the water, try to get them acclimated the best you can. And the subject too deep, a little jag of cows. Way back, they encouraged people to settle the West. And so people came out here and made little homesteads and discovered they couldn't make it farming. So they started running cows. So they did that and established some range rights and pretty much been doing it ever since. And these guys here, I mean, they're having to, since there hadn't been cattle on here in 35 years, they're having to rebuild all the infrastructure of the ranch. Corrals, fences. The guys actually fixing and cleaning some of the dirt tanks right now. But you gotta realize a lot of this is just not really prime country. Not like you can sort off your heifers and watch them calve while you're drinking coffee out the window of the house. They got to be survivors here. So takes a while for them to get acclimated, and moving them from point A to point B is kind of a difficult thing sometimes. Work our way up this little point here and check some other waters and see how far these cows will ease that direction. But really, it's a win-win situation for everybody when somebody's trying to raise a few cows in here, keeping some waters open for game, grazing down some of this old feed, knocking some trails back through some of this brush, keeping the fire danger down. I mean, the list goes on and on, but a lot of this is some pretty tough sledding to get around in. Me and Speck have gotten topped out on that ridge, and we're swimming up through this brush here, seeing how far the cattle have made it this way. But you can see it's some pretty tough country to try and run cows in. Brush is starting to ease up a little bit. So you'd think as many times as I've rode through here, I'd had it knocked out of the way by now, but it hadn't happened yet. Well, through the brush and hit this old burn here, fire. I bet this burned in here 20 years ago, maybe, something like that, 15 years ago. Made a nice little open area. At least we're not plowing through brush. So, had to show you what a Gila meadow looks like. We're headed over by the next dirt tank that I think is slated to be fixed This is not wilderness here, it's just national forest. There's a Jeep road that comes fairly close to where this tank is. I think he plans on bringing a loader in there and trying to get it patched back up. Leading up this hill, giving my mule a little bit of a break. You could ride off of this. I just try to give him a little bit of a break. This is hard on him. So every once in a while I'll cut them some slack. Back when they really ran cows in these mountains, these guys they'd keep 6 or 7 horses apiece. It'd be so tough on them, especially you get to moving cattle through this stuff. So they'd have to have quite a few animals. Some of them would get gimped up during this. So I try to give whatever I'm riding a little bit of a break now and then. We're just about to that other tank. Here we are coming up on this other tank. And actually got a little puddle of water. Just jumped a couple coos off of it, coos deer. But I think the owner intends to muck this out if he can. They got water in them. It's a great place to get a loader or something stuck. So, but at least there's a dab of water here, keeping a few deer around. So we'll take it. We'll hop back on and continue on. The cows haven't made it this far, so we'll continue on with our circle. You guys probably wondering what this thing is. This is my dog tracking device, and it also serves as you can send inReach messages with it, which is kind of like my cell phone. You can send short messages, you know, if you get in trouble or something. Or I could send, if I was able, I could send my wife a message. Hey, here's where you can claim the body. My mule's on top of me, you know, that sort of thing. But it's a pretty cool device. What's left of a old corral. This was a picket corral that was actually in pretty good shape. And a few years back, some woodcutters come in here and cut it up for firewood. So this one will have to be rebuilt. Crossing this little Jeep road right now. Thought I'd show you all the pretty dang fresh bear track here in the dust. It's a little plainer right there. Thought you might be interested. Here we are coming by a undeveloped spring that's got some pretty decent water in it. Running a little better further on down. We're working our way up this kind of nasty little wash towards the Continental Divide Trail. Yeah, I made it up here to the Continental Divide Trail, and we are enjoying not swimming through the brush for a few minutes. So we'll enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah, a lot of people that ranch in this kind of country will have cow dogs, either Catahoula's or some kind of cur dog, and they actually will trail cattle up. I mean, usually kind of silent on the track and just bark when they've found them. I mean, they don't go for miles and miles, but they're pretty helpful for finding cattle. And then if you get some stuff that starts getting trotty on you, they'll also hold them up and get around them, and bark at them, hold them there till you can get there, and teach them to handle a little bit better, not be so wild. I don't have any dogs like that. All I got lion and bear hounds, and it's what I have. And of course they have a lot better nose, and they will bark on scent and on track, most of them. But they're pretty helpful for these guys running cattle out in places like this. So much for the good trail. We're back to wallowing through the jungle. It's not too bad. Anyhow, those of you that followed me along when I was looking for the cows that got off the ranch, spent 2 days and didn't find them, they came back on their own. Just a little FYI. Wasted 2 days and they decided to come home by themselves. So anyhow, some really heavy duty crop here, some brush. I'm down, leading through it a little bit. A couple spots it was about to prune me off my mule, so we're trying to get through this bad little stretch where we can get back on. Not too far from completing our circle. All right, Spec. Come on, Spec. We've about punched through the worst of it here, I think. And we're glad, ain't we, Spec? So we'll hop back on. I can see the truck over there about a mile, so we're headed to it. We've seen several bunches of cows and checked some springs and whatnot. We're headed back up the hill to the truck. I'll call it a day, report to headquarters what we saw, and guess they can figure out what they need to do next. But, you know, Spec made it back safe and sound, and checked quite a few cows today. Kind of know where they're running, and I can report that to the patron, and he can use the information how he wants to. So we will catch you on the next time.